I've got high hopes for this section of the line this morning. We only put in yesterday, but I do think we got a dog here today. I reckon we'll get a dog. Nothing here for a start. Put in the muddy, hey? This is where we left the 4 little pigs. I had hoped we would have had a puppy here, but it doesn't look like it. Nothing yet. I say yet because it could be a day, could be 2 days, could be a week. I think it will happen here. It'll happen. Righto, we're just coming down into the creek crossing where we put the fowl, the little Tweety bird. Dave Randall's toy. Let's see what we caught with the Tweety bird. Nothing so far. What do you reckon, Brandon? Hey? You'd get that Tweety bird, wouldn't you? This Suzuki is running like a hairy goat. It's running on 3 cylinders. I'm not sure which 3, but what's happening is I've got carbon coming off, I think coming off inside of the cylinders, off the cylinder heads, and it's fouling up the plugs about every 50 kilometres or 100 kilometres on having to pull the plugs out and clean them. Let's just have a look in this gully before you jump out, Mr. Trumpy. I want to have a look, mate. Cattle. What's in the soft sand? Hunt him up. Hunt him up. Hunt him up. Dingo. Mossy, dingo. That's interesting because that's the second dead koala I found from this trip. And yeah, I found 2 in all this country. How many hundreds of dead ones are there? And also we've seen a dozen koalas. So if we've seen a dozen, how many hundreds of live ones are there? There's a problem you get sometimes with weaners around your troughs. Something gets knocked ass overhead in the trough and you can't get out. Come on, get your feet under you, get your feet under. Come on. Get your feet over the side. Come on. There you go. That'll in. Right. There, little bugger. You don't get them soon enough, they're dead. Okay, well, we're sitting in this lovely little creek here. Hot as Hades. We've gone around nearly all the traps. We'd have about 10 traps left to check, and literally this is the first dog sign we've seen now on the road in front of us. There's tracks of 1 dog over the top of our tracks from last night. It's been just like a ghost town today. So yeah, 8 and 4 nights, and this is checking night 5 now. And nothing. We've got 3 pigs. Yeah. 3 pigs. We're up to 24 pigs total?
Yeah, 24.
For the whole thing. So getting a few of those on the ground. But anyway, we've got some traps up here in front of us. So let's get up here and just check and see whether we've got puppy up here somewhere. Maybe my old favourite trap up here on top of this rise. Maybe it's worked this time. Usually gets a dog. every run here, I pull one out of this trap. Just same hole, same drag, everything. No, not this time. Alright, we come back into this little side creek. And what do we got? Dog tracks. Well, there's some working through here, so we'll lay whatever traps we got left down along this line. See what we can come up with. Alright, put 2 traps in here and put the Reconyx trail camera up here on this tree. One trap is over here, just on the right hand side there. I've just used magnet gland on a rock, and this one on this side I've put a squeaker in. This is like going back in time for me up here now, up in these ranges. There's so many whiptail wallabies, it's unreal. I haven't seen them this thick since I was a lad. You quite often hear me talk about my dislike for the word pest. I think it's a word that has been manipulated by the, let's say, it's not even left wing, the woke mob, to get their way, to denigrate, to put down, to victimise. That's the word. You know, yeah, just basically put down something that they don't like to get a result that they want. And usually that result is they want rid of that particular thing. Now, righto, I hate hearing deer regarded as a pest, because to me deer have got so many values to the community: social, educational, nutritional, spiritual, you know, the economic, you know, so many values. Just the values of getting kids out in the bush with their folks, hunting the deer, you know, grabbing their own meat to eat, learning the difference between, you know, life and death and rights and responsibilities, all those things. It's just fantastic values there that are overlooked by the woke crowd. But righto, some things, it's hard not to see them as a pest, like these things. Look at this. Now these are cane toads. This is one of the worst things that was ever brought into this country. The terrible, terrible, shocking, bloody disaster of a critter. But having said that, I'm not going into bat to see a cane toad as anything else but a pest. But let's just imagine that they came up with, say, the poison that's on these cane toads when they grow up. Let's say it is the miracle cure for cancer or whatever it is in this world. It's the only place you can find it. And all of a sudden these things were worth $10 each. People would be fighting to protect their cane toads. They'd be harvesting them. They'd still be doing damage to the ecology. But you'd probably find that they'd get just about wiped out, because people would be hunting them down everywhere they possibly could and grabbing them before they did this, before they just put these just plagues of tadpoles in here, these beautiful little black tadpoles. My beautiful Judy used to save when she was a little girl. She used to, you know, shift them from one drying up puddle hole on the Broughton River to another to keep these beautiful tadpoles alive. And then when she got older, she realised they were cane toads. She still gets a red face over that. Anyway, yeah, what a bloody disaster these things are. And they kill so many of our other species that eat them, that are poisonous. But the worst thing is they're talking now about using CRISPR gene editing to edit the genetics, to scramble the X chromosomes in male cane toads so that all they can pass on when they breed are Y chromosomes. And if anybody knows anything about the breeding of anything, you've got XX in the females and XY in the male. And if the male gives an X, well, there's two X's, it's a female. If he gives a Y, XY, it's a male. That's basically the way things work, people. I'm sick of all the gender rubbish that's going on. But anyway, then the idea being that you breed up just, a whole swag, a shit ton of those scrambled DNA males of whatever species you want to control, and then let them go in the wild, with the thought being that then makes sure that everything that is bred as a male, and very soon the populations crash and fall over themselves. Pretty good idea, but pretty spooky when you think of that sort of technology, especially if it fell in the wrong hands, because one day it could happen to humans. It could happen to something we really like, something that we really prize. So, a bit like AI. Just let's take this a little bit slow, please. Morning everyone, out here checking the line, and yeah, beautiful morning up here in central North Queensland. It's about low 20s. They're predicting it's getting up to 37 today, so nice and balmy. And cattle have kicked that one out, so we'll put this one back in again. This will be for the third time now since we caught this dog. Cattle just keep persisting. Okay, we've branched out on a side track, no more than 500 metres away from where we've got two sets, where we caught one young dog, and we've got good sign here on the road. I'd say a big mature dog and at least two pups. We just pulled up here to set a trap. We've got dogs howling up here on this hill above us. Okay, you can hear them howling right up on that big face, but they do sound like younger dogs. I howl, but this wind, the way the wind is cutting, I'm not sure whether my sound would even be able to reach them. And my voice won't allow me to really howl properly, but nothing came in, so we'll move around, we'll head up towards that higher country. I might give another howl further up here, but I think we'll set the last of our traps up along this spur line. This dog won't respond to a howl and won't come in. It's up on this big face up here, so it might be a young dog and very wary. I think the best thing we can do is just set a line of traps as far up this hill as we can. Let's go and do that. Have to lose that accent, get an Aussie one. We say, she'll be right, mate. Oh, do it again. Do it again.
Right, mate.
Oh, no, do it again. This is a slow work in progress. The dog, the drag's gone.
Yeah, and he's there.
Yes!
It's a black face.
Look at this.
Look at him.
Crossbred. What a crossbred dog.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get this little fella shot.
Sit down. Sit down, Trumpy.
Right on, have a look at this one. Yeah, this, you'll hear some of the experts say that the dingoes don't crossbreed. Oh no, they don't. There's no cross dogs around. Well, here we are, central North Queensland. You can see there on the live footage with that dog. This guy's got the real pricky ears and big ears. Real black around the muzzle. He's got white everywhere, white. The landowner saw two dogs up here that he felt had been like released. They were really crossbred, white, like pig dogs. And what we've got now are litters of pups coming along with all this coloration in them. Far more white in the legs, collars up the front, and these buffier, different shaped heads. What we run into here is there's a lot of experts out there that their funding relies on them having this pure dingo opinion. So everything they say is how pure the dingoes are and they're not crossbreeding and it's all lies, rah, rah. Because the more they say that, the better funded they are. Truth needs to come out. In some areas of this country, yes, the dogs are still very pure, if we can say what pure was to start with. Let's say they're very close to the dogs that would have come in here 3,000 or 4,000 years ago, that would have been brought in with, say, the Sahul people or one of the settling groups of people that came in from outside Australia to Australia. They brought the dogs in, right? That, I think, is pretty clear to establish. I've been in Malaysia, I've worked in Malaysia, and as we're going around on the sides of the road, the first time I saw it, I said, look, there's some dingoes. And they said, no, they're native dogs. Well, I said, well, your native dogs look exactly like what we've got back home. What we've got here is another run of that same thing. We have got another line of dog that's in here in different areas, especially right down the east coast. And these things are definitely crossbred. So sorry to say to the experts, right? I'm no expert, I'm just a lowly dog trapper. This is everywhere up and down the coast. There's a splash of domestic dog in that original dingo line now. And the funny thing, what I did see there in one of the papers, that anything they felt was with less than 15% of introduced of domestic in them, they regarded as pure. This one might only be 10%, might only be 20%. I think it's more. I think this is more like 30 to 50% of domestic dog in it. But even if they've got 10% in them, it's still visible. Okay, that's a good result for the morning. Crossbred dog out of this area where we have been seeing, you know, a lot more colour, a lot more change in the dog. Right, we're heading up here now to where we heard those pups, you know, howling yesterday. So I think we'll use the predator call, unless we've got another dog in the trap here. If we've got another dog, I'd say what we'll do is just wait and the other ones will come sniffing around if there's more. Trap was here somewhere.
I think it was around 3 May.
Look.
Yeah.
There's number 10 at the base of the tree. Good stuff. Good stuff. Nothing succeeds like success. Okay, another magazine. Got to clean my scope, all the dust. You use a proper lens cleaning cloth. Oh. You could grow potatoes in here. And clear. Hello, little fella. Another little female. Another little female. Now this one, it's got the black muzzle, the white tips, very, very standard dingo style, what people see as the typical dingo. Again, both these ones, front foot catches with the jakes, perfect. Dave and Tracy Randall, they're professional trapping. Thank you guys. So this is the dilemma. There you've got a, definitely, they're only 500 metres apart. These would be litter mates, both females. And one's showing real crossbred traits, and this one's showing the you know, proper dingo traits. But there it is, folks. Good. That's number 10. Right, caught well, just held well. Foot's not swollen, not damaged, just held just in behind the main big pad there. That's what you want. Perfect.